Okay, I am going to get started because I want to make sure that I am honoring the time limit that we have established. And I know that this went out today. There will be other Zoom videos that I will do. There will be other sessions that I'll do. This is the first session, but I want to go ahead and honor the time. Plus, given that we are on quarantine for the corona quarantine, Zoom is experiencing a lot of traffic, and there are a lot of people trying to use the software, including a lot of kids who are at school. And so I want to make sure I get in and get out, you guys. I really wanted to wait until I saw participants join, but I'm going to go ahead and start. Just to let you know, I am recording the session. So if there was anyone who got a late start to getting to the course, to the session, there will be a recording and I will share the recording. So let's get started. This is the How to Handle Unexpected Career Changes workshop. Okay, so welcome. And we're doing this from home. I know a lot of people are at home right now, so welcome to my home. I'm Christina Payne. I want to do a little bit of housekeeping announcements before we get too far into things. I hope everyone is making the best of their time at home right now. I know we have our kids at home. So first and foremost, if you hear a little something in the background, let's all be human about that. There's a lot going on for everyone. So we'll try to keep it we'll try to keep our computers muted unless we have questions or comments to share. But of course, if you hear something, we all know that, everyone's home right now. So we're going to be, just forgiving of that right now at this time. Also, we want to be respectful of others. If you are, having a bunch of audio problems, or if you're having a lot of background sound, go ahead and be respectful for others and mute your audio. Be patient. There is a lot of traffic on the internet right now with everyone at home. We're doing a lot from home right now. We're working from home. We're trying to go to school from home. We're trying to entertain ourselves from home. So there's a lot of traffic on the internet right now. So our bandwidth might be impacted during this session. But I wanted to get out there and have the meeting. So you guys bear with us. Also, I want you to share the video, please. If you are in the webinar right now, I am using Zoom for the first time. I'm more familiar with using tools like WebEx and Skype, but I'm grateful for Zoom as it's a free software for us. So I won't be able to see if your participants are in here, if people are joining. I don't know if I'll get notifications of that or not. But if you are in the webinar and you would like to share it with others, please do that so that I can get this word out to others and get the word out. And then finally, feedback makes this session better. So please take some time to provide feedback, whether that be by email to me or by comment to me on any of our social media channels. However you want to do that and you feel comfortable doing that, please do that. Okay. So the agenda for this session is we're going to be really quick. We're going to get in and out quickly. I'll give you an introduction of who I am. I don't know if we'll have people on the call to give introductions for themselves. Maybe on future calls we'll be able to do a couple of quick introductions, but I will certainly introduce myself, and then we'll go through just 3 quick tips on how to handle unexpected career changes. And then I'll show you some next steps and answer any questions if we have people on the call. So, introductions. Just a little humor to break the ice there. A little bit about me. So I'm Christina Payne. I have over 10 years of experience as an organizational change manager. I am a mother of 4 and married for over 19 years. So we are getting really close to that 20-year mark. I have my daughter and my goddaughter here who are asking me to explain what is an organizational change manager. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes explaining that, because even when I do explain it in other cases, they don't ever understand it. So I'm going to break it down. Oftentimes, when you're in a corporation or if you're in any organization, there are going to be large changes that happen to the organization, whether it means you're having a new system implementation, some type of technology change that's happening to the organization that disrupts the way we work and changes the way we do things. Or we have things that are external, maybe a government regulation that's changing the way we work and disrupting the way that we do things. And there is a need for us to shift the way we do our jobs. Change managers come in and first try to understand what's changing and assess the impact of that change. We are concerned with the people who will be impacted by that change, and we try to develop strategies so that those individuals can develop the skills that they need to adopt and embrace the new change, and then to be able to do their jobs well after they move into the new norm, whatever that new norm looks like. As I've been posting on our different social media sites to try to market this workshop, oftentimes we focus our energy as change managers on the individuals who will remain with the organization post the change. So often big changes mean displacement of individuals in the workforce, meaning there will be cuts. Let's just make it plain. If a huge technology change comes through, it will have an impact on the number of people who will work in the organization. Most organizations adopt those big technology changes because it's going to help them work faster, more efficient, need fewer people to do the job. And so it usually means that there's going to be someone who is going to lose their job as a result of it. So often as a change manager, I get to work with the people who stay behind, who are going to have to do the job in a new way. And I don't get to spend as much time with the individuals who are going to be laid off and who are going to be displaced, right? So that leads you to my why for why I want to do more to help people who are going to be let go and who are going to be displaced by these changes, right? So my why is I've helped all of those people. I've helped a lot of people who are left back or remain, I shouldn't say left back because that's a negative way of looking at it, but who have been asked to stay with the organization post a big change. And I've helped a lot of people adopt those new changes. Now I want to help individuals who have been laid off, who will need to figure out what the new norm looks like for them as they've been separated from the company. What does that look like for me? It's going to be different for every individual. Some of those individuals will find that their skills are obsolete. Some of those individuals will find that they've spent a lot of time doing things that there's not a need for in the industry anymore. And it's important to me that we spend time having conversations about what does the new norm look like. And so that is my why. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much more time on introductions. So that's a bit about me. I have a lot of background in change management, so it does give me some experience and credibility in managing change. So let's talk more about the details of what are some tips for actually handling change. I want to go through the quote here: "A journey of 1,000 um, miles begins with a single step," right? So we want to make sure that we talk about what do those initial steps look like. Step one, don't rush out and apply for every job out there, right? So when we are laid off or separated from a company unexpectedly, our first response is, I need to get back to work. I have bills to pay, bills don't stop coming. I know what I know how to do well, and we rush out and we start to apply for every job out there that looks similar to the job that we just were separated from. And what I would say to you is don't do that right away. So the reason I would say don't do that right away is because you need some time to self-assess. In change management, we call that understanding the situation. Do you understand yourself? Have you had a chance to sit down and do a bit of self-assessment to understand what you liked about your previous job? Do you understand the things that you didn't like about your previous job? Do you understand the things that you do well? Do you understand those things that you don't do well? Do you have a clear path or an understanding of what it is that you like and you dislike and who you are after spending so much time in a career in a profession, maybe not just with that employer but in that profession? We need to spend some time, just a little bit of time, doing some self-reflection and some self-assessment on what our skills look like. Are our skills still necessary? We need to spend that time to really do that reflection. So before you run out and you decide, hey, I got to get right back out there and I got to go get that same kind of job, if you go out and you get the same job, you're going to find yourself quickly feeling the same way about that job as you felt about your previous job. And we really want to take this time while we're separated from your former employer to design something that's going to make you happy and you're going to enjoy. Because we have all heard the statistics about there are so many people in the organization who are just there. You know, we see the statistics where 80% of the organization is dissatisfied with their work. Why not take this time when you're displaced from that organization to do that self assessment and understand those things about yourself that can create a better um, opportunity for you moving forward? So I'm saying to you not to go out and immediately rush and apply for that job. Do the self assessment. Okay. Step two, don't immediately assume that you need to reinvent yourself. And I like this picture because it's a picture of a bicycle with two wheels, but the wheels are no longer circular, they're now triangular. Because what we do as humans is once we do a bit of self reflection, we do a bit of self assessment, we tend to focus on the things that we don't like. And we might have that, aha moment or that epiphany that says, you know what, I really disliked having a job where I spent 80% of my day in meetings. And I want to go have a job that no longer requires me to be in meetings. This is what happens when people do really drastic changes where they move from, they say, I don't ever want to work in corporate America again. Or they say, I'm going back to school and become a petrophysicist when they've been, someone that didn't work in that field ever before. There's nothing wrong with that, you guys. There are people who do career switching successfully. However, most of us tend to do things in increments. We incrementally change. We take baby steps from, I'm sorry, I mentioned I have people here, right? I mentioned that we're having a human experience. So they are using their devices and you might have heard something in the background. So that's okay. Um, so I just want you to not rush out and make drastic decisions about wanting to reinvent yourself in total. Um, because you're focusing on all of the negative things about your former work that you didn't like. We need to do things in a way where we are not only focusing on the things that we didn't like, but spending a lot of time focusing on the things that we did like, right? Spend more time working on those things that you do like, because you may find that there's an incremental change that you can make that will be a lot easier shift that you can make than trying to make that drastic switch. And I'll make that plain for you. So what does that look like? For me, I have been in change management for such a long time. And as I mentioned, I spend most of my time working for the organization, helping people who will remain with the organization. And I also face the same challenges that anyone else will face when faced with an unexpected career change. Although I have not had that unexpected career change yet, I am considering what would I do if that happened. For me, I've sat down and I've done those assessments. What parts of my job do I really enjoy and what parts of them do I not? At one point, I thought, I really just want a big change. I want to go start my own business. I want to do something completely different. I want to go completely different. After having some self-reflection, I realized there are a lot of parts of my current job that I really like. I like being able to help people solve problems. I like being able to help people think through what they like in their jobs and what they don't like in their jobs. And it's better for me at this point in my career to take an incremental step and maybe help those who are displaced than it is for me to completely abandon all of the work that it is that I've done in my past 10 plus years in my career. And because it's an easier switch for me. Okay. So I want you to consider that before you decide, you know, when you're facing these unexpected changes, when you're sitting and you're ruminating about what it is you should do. Okay. So let's move on to step 3 because I've given you a lot of feedback on what not to do. At this point, you're probably guessing, like, what should I do then, Christina? So, what should you do? Think about your next opportunity as if it doesn't exist yet. Okay. So, what does that mean? What that means is we often design our next experience by looking at a problem and solving it, right? We have devices in our hands, iPhones, iPads, we have computers, we have phones, we have microwaves, we have all these devices are the product of someone sitting down and saying, hey, it would be awesome if I could do X, Y, and Z in the palm of my hand. It would be awesome if I could do X, Y, and Z easy. And that person then goes out and they work with other individuals to get feedback on what would make that product awesome. And then they take a pattern of developing a prototype. They test that prototype to see how well it would work with users, people who would use that prototype. And then they develop it and they go out and they put it on the market and we buy it. We don't take that same approach when we start to think of work. We think of work as that one thing that we have to figure out that we're going to do for the rest of our lives. We start doing it. We start thinking about it when we're in elementary school. Our teachers start asking us, what is it that you want to be when you grow up? And we have to choose from a list of things that already exist. And we start thinking about, oh, I'm going to be a lawyer, I'm going to be a doctor, I'm going to be an engineer, I'm going to be all of these things out of the list of available options. And we tend to stop allowing ourselves to dream up things that would make us happy based on who we are intrinsically. You have to start thinking of the next opportunity as an opportunity to create opportunities for yourself. And it doesn't mean that we're all going to become entrepreneurs. It doesn't mean that we're all going to become solopreneurs. It doesn't mean we're all going to abandon the official workplace and corporations. What it means is we take our look on work as something that we're solving problems, and we start having conversations with individuals about the problems that you see in the world, that if you had a chance to collaborate with other individuals who are interested in solving that problem, that it would give you joy. You would find interest in solving those problems. This is what makes great employees for employers. This is what makes employers excited about hiring people who are interested in doing something great. You have to start thinking about your next opportunity as if it doesn't exist. What are the problems out here that I can solve? Right? So I want you to start thinking of it that way. It is a reframing of your mindset. It is thinking about things differently. It is about understanding that there are more opportunities than those that may be presented to us in job boards. We may have to learn to network with others. We may have to start having conversations with friends and family. We may have to start thinking of it in a way that we want to solve some of the problems that are interesting to us. But that all starts with figuring out what interests us, right? So let's recap a bit about those 3 steps, and then we'll talk about how do I get that done. So that first step, like I said, was don't rush out and apply for every job. You need to take some time to think about who you are and self reflect and things that you enjoy. Step two, do not decide once you do that self reflection that you need to entirely reinvent yourself. That's not necessarily the case. You do, however, need to take the time to understand those things that you like and you don't like. Step three, think about your next opportunity as if it doesn't exist. Think about it as if there is a problem out there that you might uniquely be able to help others solve, and you want to figure out how you can participate in that opportunity. Okay? So those are the three steps. We're getting close to closing out here. But I want to talk about the inconvenient truth that everyone probably is thinking about right now. So how do I do this? How do I get this done? So the inconvenient truth is it will be difficult to fully commit to what we're calling journey mapping, because if you're unemployed and you need income to sustain your living. However, this is the best time to do the work. This is the time for you to decide that I'm going to design that next step of my life, and I'm going to be intentional about what it is that I want to do next. Because if you go ahead and you do that work now, you're framing and you're creating the opportunities that you want to do next, rather than starting the next job and finding yourself back where you are 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now. Okay, so I need you to, I respect the inconvenient truth. We all face the inconvenient truth. If it were me, I would start this process before you hit that unexpected career change. We should all be trying to figure this out before then. But if you're in that place, I encourage you to be courageous, to push past. If you have to find a job, you have to find a job. That is the fact of life. But do not abandon the activities that are necessary for you to also start that journey mapping. Okay? So what do the next steps look like for this? Obviously, we invite you to schedule a journey mapping session. So I want to tell you more about what a journey mapping session looks like. Okay? So for us, these are in-person workshops. They are small class sizes from 10 to 20 people. We will give you pre and post workshop exercises that you'll have to do. So this is not, do not expect that this will be a one and done. I'm going to go to a workshop and then I'm going to have it all figured out. It is a journey. It is an interactive training session, however, because we are training you to reframe your mind. But it will be a fun exercise. It will be an exercise that is interactive and engaging. There will be other people there that you will engage with, right? We will provide all of the materials that you need and all the meals. All you need to do is to show up with an open mind, to want to learn the activities that you need to design your next chapter, right? So obviously, this is going to be great for anyone that's facing layoffs, anyone that's facing automation that's going to disrupt their industry, downsizing, if you're going into retirement, but you still want to be active, and certainly for those who are career switching. So let me give you some details about what does it cost. Everyone, I know that for me, if I'm listening to webinars, that's important for me. I want to know, what does it cost? Our goal at Change Teak is to work with corporate sponsors and industry leaders to make these sessions free of charge for you through sponsorship. So certainly, if anyone is listening to this webinar, we want you to share these webinars with your leaders. And especially if you have a industry who will be laying people off and you will be offering severance packages, we would ask that you would share this with your leadership team to try to convince them that this is a great thing to share as a part of their severance package. And we would like to be able to offer it free of charge, right, through that sponsorship model. And we will be actively out searching for those opportunities through that sponsorship model. However, We understand that that may not be possible right away. And so we want to make it affordable for you all to group up and be able to take advantage of the working sessions, right? So the very first session is what we call the good model. And the good model is that you're an individual who wants to join a workshop and you are alone in this. You don't really have a group of people that you could join. So we will put a date out and we will allow 10 people who are not who are random. I'm going to say random. I hate that word, but I couldn't think of a better word. You guys share with me a better word. I'm fallible. But just 10 random people who get together and who are going to go through this workshop together. The reason we do it in person is because we need each other and the feedback of each other to be able to go through ideation, to be able to create prototypes, to be able to help each other design these different these workshops, right? If you don't have people to help you design it, then it's all your thought process and you don't get the benefit of others and their perspectives. So we really need this to be a collaborative exercise. If you don't have 10 people to work with, certainly we will coordinate sessions and 10 individuals can join together. They may not know each other and they can work together. And we call that the good model. The better model is if you have 10 friends or colleagues that you can get together and you all come up with your date, your time, your location, and we will come together and we will create that workshop around each other. This is the better model because you have the benefit of each other knowing each other, those friendships. Those individuals are going to help you to network after the workshop, to take your prototyping to other individuals, to do the testing that we encourage to happen. So that is definitely a better model for you to go out and you to assemble a group of 10 people who can help you to do your journey mapping. Okay? And then there is the best model. And the best model is where you can assemble 20 friends or colleagues, and those 20 friends or colleagues will help you reduce the cost. And when you reduce the cost, it's down to $250 a person. And of course, who can complain at that amount? It is an investment in your career. It's an investment in your life model at $250. And that's 20 people that you can get together, your church friends, 20 people um, in your just 20 people, friends or colleagues that you might know, right? That's the best model. So this is the way we see it moving forward. Of course, all of these options are available for you to collaborate with us on. We're hoping that we are creating an opportunity for everyone to participate. I don't know that I have anybody on the call with questions. It looks like I might be the only one on here. I'm not sure. But I'm really close to time either way. So, what I'm going to ask you guys to do in terms of questions is to go ahead and send any of your questions to me via email at the email address below. Again, my name is Christina Payne. And I'm going to ask you to email me at info@changeteak.com. That's the name of our company. And if you don't mind just sharing your thoughts, ways that we can improve, thoughts about a workshop, anything that can be helpful, any feedback, we welcome that. Okay. So I appreciate your time. We are right at time. I'm just that 1 minute out. I hope I didn't move too fast. I was timing myself, but I do appreciate your time. I do appreciate you going through the working session with me. Please do give us feedback. Thank you. You guys um, take the coronavirus serious. Please do the social distancing that they've asked you to do. I understand that it's an in-person session that I'm asking you to do, so we may not be able to get sessions done until that social distancing time is over. However, in the interim, we will be trying to figure out a virtual way of doing this. But that is not the model. That is not the successful model that we want to go with. So these sessions will start post that quarantine session. So I want to go ahead and put that out there. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everyone who sees this. If you're watching this in replay, please, please, please share with your friends and your family. That would help me. Let me just put forward all of our social media sites. So first and foremost, you can reach us at our email. That's www.changeteak. You can see that here, changeteak.com. You can reach us also on Facebook at ChangeTeak. You can reach us on Twitter at ChangeTeak. And you can reach us on YouTube at ChangeTeak. So anyway, you want to reach us, all the same handles, please reach out to us. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.